I've 22F, lost 40 kilograms, but my boyfriend, 21M, keeps discussing my fitness with his mother. Hi, within the past 2 years I, 22F, have lost 40 kilograms. This year I have graduated university, and during the past summer months I have been searching for a job, enjoying vacations, and now have 2 job interviews booked, as well as starting learning how to drive. I'm happy with my weight loss. I want to lose 10 kilograms more. However, I also want to improve my physical fitness. In my mind, this will be a process. I have a treadmill at home and can easily go for walks with my dogs. However, I know that it will take me seriously focusing those things into my routine to effectively implement them. My next 2 weeks are busy, and I need to secure a job ASAP. However, I do want to start implementing physical activity every day. The problem lies with my boyfriend of almost 2 years, 21 meters. He has been hammering onto me constantly about my physical fitness, about me walking my dogs daily. Every day he mentions it. We discussed my fitness last month and agreed upon developing it into my routine. However, sometimes I'm just drained and tired from job searching, emails, etc. Last night he brought it up again. This time I learned he has been discussing it with his mother, who had previously called me fat behind my back when discussing my weight with him in private. He himself is very physically fit, gym every day, so is his family. It really frustrates me that this is something he felt the need to discuss with his mother. He started dating me when I weighed 120 kilograms. I now weigh 90 kilograms and am 5 feet 8 inches. He never brought up my weight or fitness previously until this summer, consequently after the discussion where his mother called me fat. Unfortunately, rather than focusing on my small successes, learning to drive, getting job interviews, he's only dwelling on the negative and only perpetuating that negative to his family. Until I get a car, I won't really have easy access to a gym, besides from my home treadmill. When I do get my license, I want to pay for a personal trainer. Does anyone have any recommendations for fitness at home and implementing fitness habits into a routine? I am doing this for myself, not for him. Packing and moving boxes burns tons of calories. If a guy is viewing himself as a team with his mom against you, that relationship is never going to work. Never mind the fact that he's literally talking shit about your weight to his mom. Fuck this guy. Fuck his catty mom. You sound amazing. You're working on yourself for you, and I don't just mean the weight loss. You got dogs. You're making plans. You're doing you. Keep doing that. Don't do it for anybody else. Is he your boyfriend or your warden? Ain't nobody need that kind of grief from someone who is supposed to be emotionally supportive. You can do better. There's no way in hell I'd be in a relationship with someone whose mom plays a role. No. He's right about your dogs, though. They need exercise and socialization every day. You can lose another 80 kilograms by ditching this loser. You have accomplished amazing things, and you deserve someone who will support and cherish and celebrate you. You'll never find them if you're stuck with a guy who continues to put you down. Even being single is better than being with the wrong guy. Why are you with someone who talks to and about you like this? Why are you with someone who lets their family talk to you like this? Why are you with someone who is exerting such pressure and control? Do yourself a favor and leave before you accidentally get knocked up by him. I, F35, need perspective on my 13-year marriage to my husband, M39. Hi, I, F35, am hoping for perspective on my marriage to my M39 husband. Whenever I met my husband, he was in the military, and I was about to finish undergrad and head into my MBA program. We were young, but we were both driven, had our own lives, and clicked right away. We knew quickly we were right for each other and married. He deployed and returned. I finished my MBA program and started my career. He got out and went to college. We had a beautiful son. My husband graduated with a solid degree. And then completely stagnated. That was 10 years ago. He never did anything with his tech degree, and all of the drive he had in the military evaporated. Being the child of veterans myself, I understood how tough transitioning to civilian life could be. I thought it would decrease with time, but it didn't, even with support from me about resources, helping him get seen for mental health, resume/career development, etc. In the meantime, our son was DX'd with autism, and his younger years were really hard. My husband had a very hard time bonding with him, and still does, though he is an involved parent and will take him to therapies. But he still doesn't seem to understand autism or take the time to read the whys behind our son's behavior. I do believe he loves our son, he just struggles with bonding. I have continued to be the breadwinner, as my husband never had a career or real job after service, But we had a terrible year a couple of years ago. We lost one son to early stillbirth, and our living son was the victim of a hate crime because of his autism. As you can imagine, it rocked our world. I desperately needed a break from work, but because my husband doesn't work, though he does get some disability, I couldn't. After looking at different options, I saw he could get paid to care for our son through a program despite our son being in school that, combined with his disability, would cover our bills and groceries. I decided to start a business as a consultant while we went through the criminal trial and everything. My business thrived. But while I was working on my business, my husband said he was getting paid only a couple $100 from the child care program. It should have been at least $1,400 per pay period. I told him he was probably doing the timesheets wrong, but he said he wasn't. As a result, I had to use my 401k to keep us afloat as I established my business, only to find out that he had been doing the timesheets wrong the whole time. My 401k gone. For fucking no reason. I realized how I had been carrying this family. Even with the lawyers for our son, I chose them, I communicated with them, I spoke to the media. I made sure when my son received a settlement, it was invested properly. Now that the perpetrator is in jail, and my son is okay, I feel like I have lost respect for my husband. He is kind, funny, and adores me. We get along well, and I don't hate him. But his refusal to grow over these years, and the loss of my 401k because he couldn't do a timesheet, has caused resentment. I recognize and own my part in enabling him for as long as I have. He's not very enthusiastic about going back to school to learn new skills, doesn't like school, but is open to getting a retail job, which doesn't cut it for me, especially when he's made comments in the past that we don't have enough money compared to when I was making six figures. He has apologized for these comments. I am in therapy, he's in therapy, and we're doing couples therapy. We own a home together, and I just worry I will regret leaving since it's a big, scary decision. I worry about my son. Is this situation worth saving, or am I in denial that it's likely over? I feel for you deeply and really don't want to say this, but it's really over. It's been 13 years and hasn't changed. Don't waste another 13 years of your life. I usually would recommend therapy and trying to work it out, but you've already done that. Not to mention, he refuses to take accountability or initiative for anything. I'd harbor resentment too. You'd do better by yourself. He can figure his own shit out. Your situation sounds pretty helpless. You've been carrying the entire relationship for many years, and it sounds like he does the bare minimum. He's a leech, not a partner, and he will suck the lifeblood out of the relationship the longer you remain. He has no interest in changing because from his perspective, his needs are met. You can only control you. Please choose you. How does he defend/justify not doing anything for a decade? You will see life gets easier for you if you leave him because you will have one less person to take care of. You mention in passing that your husband is disabled and on disability. It would help to be slightly more specific about that. Is he cognitively disabled, like from a TBI, or is it a mobility thing? You mention he thinks he can work retail, so I'm a bit puzzled. It does sound like you need to sit him down and let him know you're leaving because it's pretty clear you are done. He can try harder, but he can do that as a single dad too. It sounds like your ship has run aground here. Just the issue with the timesheet. He couldn't be bothered as he's been watching on while you carried the entire load. He has everything he needs and is just cruising on your back. I think you would be better off apart ATM. No need to rush to divorce. Separation could be the wake-up call he needs. If not, well then you have your answer. Does he have undiagnosed ADHD or is possibly on the spectrum and not doing well without the excessive structure of the military? My boyfriend doesn't want to wear protection. F21M23. My boyfriend and I have been together for almost 4 years. During that time I was on birth control but stopped taking it in February. Now, I realize the consequences if I get pregnant. I've told him several times I'm scared to get pregnant, and he says, I won't get you pregnant, I'll pull out. Mind you, he's pro-life and thinks if a woman has SCX, she needs to carry the baby to term. I'm concerned because my voice isn't being heard. He told me before if I get pregnant and terminate the baby, he'll break up with me, but at the same time, he doesn't want to wear protection, so that's his fault. I'm not sure what to make of this. What are your thoughts? Stop having unprotected sex with him. Also, this is a pretty big incompatibility, and you should be asking yourself if you want to stay with someone who easily disregards your bodily autonomy. Stop having sex with him. You know how many babies are a result of the pull-out method? That shit doesn't work. Sperm still comes out before ejaculation. Then he'll eventually definitely, accidentally finish inside you. It's wild what guys will say to avoid wearing a damn condom. Pro-life has always been a bit of a misnomer. It's more accurately pro-forced pregnancy, or pro-fuck women's autonomy. He is being very consistent with the anti-choice ethos, also a more apt name. The pull-out method is the least reliable form of birth control to the point where I think it's as effective as praying you don't get pregnant. Your choices are to refuse sex unless he uses protection, break up, the best choice here. Or give in to his wishes and pray you don't get pregnant, which means you're likely to get pregnant. There is no salvaging this one. Girl, come on. Both of you are responsible here. If you don't want a baby, then you need to either be on birth control or refuse to have sex with him without a condom. If he doesn't want to wear a condom, then he doesn't get to have sex with you. Personally, I wouldn't be caught dead with a man that told me he'd break up with me if I got an abortion. But if you do want to stay with him, you need to be a lot more firm about your stance on birth control and stand your ground. Do not let him walk all over you on something that is so important it could literally ruin your life. Dump him. He is a hypocrite and doesn't care about you, your wishes, or your health. Firstly, he's an idiot for believing in the pull-out method. Secondly, if you say you are afraid of getting pregnant, and he shrugs it off, he does not care about you as a person. Of the few partners I've been with, my concern for protection wasn't taken lightly. And 3RDLY, him claiming to be pro-life is a red flag. I thought this people believe you shouldn't have unprotected sex, or sex at all, unless you want a baby. A bit of an assumption, but I think he may want to baby trap you. He wants you to get pregnant. The pull-out method is really unreliable. Either get back on birth control before having sex again, he uses condoms, or both. Or end this relationship. Financial fiasco, 24M27F. My boyfriend, 24M, and I, 27F, have been together for almost a year. He recently stated that he would like me to send him the majority of my paycheck because he believes in very traditional roles, and that finances lands under his jurisdiction. At first I said okay, but I had questions. Last night we were out, and I had gone to the ATM and taken out cash. He then put out his hand for me to give it to him. I refused and decided to bring up some of my qualms about him controlling my paycheck. My main issues are that 1, we don't live together or have any shared expenses. 2, we don't fully know each other's debt situation. 3, I spend most of my money on activities, food, etc. for us. I just wanted to hear his rationale before just handing over my money. When I asked what would he be doing with it, he said nothing. It's not like he would just spend my money, which confused me even more. If we lived together and had shared finances, I would be completely okay with it, because at least there'd be a level of transparency in a shared account. But he was clearly very upset with me asking question and reacted as if I was saying I don't trust him. Was there a better way to approach this topic? Any advice on how to move forward? Girl, what the fuck, leave him. He has absolutely no right to your hard-earned money. If he believes in traditional roles, then maybe he should make enough money for you to never have to work again. In a traditional relationship, he would earn the money and you would manage the money. If we're talking historical gender roles, management of the household is the woman's purview, and that includes the household's finances. He's just trying to control you, and he absolutely will just spend your money. He recently stated that he would like me to send him the majority of my paycheck because he believes in very traditional roles, and that finances lands under his jurisdiction. This is not how a traditional relationship works. If he wants to be in charge of finances because he's the man, he needs to be the one providing 100% of the finances. That's how a traditional relationship works. The arrangement he wants is just financial abuse. Even if you live together, this would not be okay. It's insane he's demanding this less than a year into dating, and even more insane you didn't run for the hills when he did. You need to get away from this man and get into therapy to figure out why you're entertaining this on any level. You're setting yourself up to be abused and controlled. If I asked a girlfriend to send me most of her paycheck every month, I'd genuinely expect a punch in the neck. Oh, good God almighty, girl. WTF? Do not give your money to this yahoo. What? He thinks you are too stupid to manage your own money. Or that he is inherently better at managing money. Or that women should be submitting to men. Or that you shouldn't spend your own money. That you earned, not he. Why in the fucking world would you tolerate that level of stupidity, misogyny, disrespect, and pomposity? Run, Opie, please just run. He is not a good person, and an even worse potential partner. I hope this is rage bait. His proposal is insane and not traditional in any way. If he were truly traditional, he'd only do that after you were married, and you ain't married. Please don't marry him. Not only is this larceny, any therapist would tell you it's a dysfunctional power game where he is taking your money to control and abuse you. Please, please, please sprint away from this psycho.